Hello, I'm your host, Messedupfan. If you're here from Tumblr, you might be familiar with my fics. If you're here from my Discord, thank you once again for supporting me on this journey. And if you have absolutely no idea who I am, or but love to read, write, or even talk about fanfiction, welcome. I am so happy to have you here. Our special guest today is a reoccurring one. Yay! Let me hold on.
Amy!
That's right. We have Miranda back from popular request, of course. Welcome back, Miranda.
What up?
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great because I'm plotting to steal your podcast, apparently.
Yeah, that's the popular opinion right now, is that you're gonna steal this podcast, and betray me because my tarot reader said I'm gonna be betrayed at some point this year.
It's actually the unpopular opinion because the only one who believes that is Noelle.
No, because Macca's wrote it. Macca said it too.
No, she said co-host.
Or was it both? No, she said.
I don't know.
She said, okay, and I remember she said co-host, but then she also said in the strikeout, she said what was it, that you were gonna take over. I just gotta scroll up.
I do not claim this.
Yeah, so she asked if you were gonna be the co-host, and then I said, did you sneak in the VC? She said, no, I was still in bed. And then I did like the accusing eyes. She did the accusing eyes, and then said, is that a potential yes? And then in strike, then Miranda takes over the show.
Yes, that's the plan. That's why I refuse to sign.
So I'm gonna tag you in.
I refuse to sign. I'm
gonna have to take a screenshot for the to share for the listeners.
I refuse to sign the release form.
You refuse to sign the release form because you want to take over. You're gonna sue, and then you're gonna take over.
Exactly.
What's the 3-step plan for that? Is that just girl boss?
I'm just girl bossing.
Boss?
I'm just girl bossing.
Because I keep thinking about the one that you made a while ago.
Divorce, jail, prison? No,
divorce, restraining order, yes. Prison.
Divorce, restraining order, prison.
All right. The first question I have is not related to our theme yet. We're gonna get to the theme, but I wanted to ask you this because I forgot to ask you this yesterday when I realized that you actually had way more stories than I thought. I think I just stopped reading when
wow.
you had like 3 stories on there.
Wow.
That's when I started writing, but I started writing because of you writing the
I'm going to report you now. Uno reverse.
Like halfway through this interview, I'm being arrested. I'm like, what? I didn't even do anything.
This is now my podcast.
This is now your podcast. But what is your favorite story that you have written?
That I've written?
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like the gender bent Spider-Man story that I wrote. Mm-hmm. With Kate.
Yeah, I totally read that one.
I'm gonna block you and then report you.
Okay, but here's the thing. What of mine have you read? Exactly.
In my defense, I was writing way before you. I had stopped reading once I started writing.
Okay. And I stopped.
If you were one of the OG writers.
I stopped reading when I started writing, so why is that? Why is that controversial all of a sudden?
Because I was around longer. Exactly. I don't know, or that one or my love triangle story. That one got a lot of like engagement, and I really enjoyed like listening to people argue in the comments.
That's the one I found.
But honestly, like
I was too scared to comment then.
I
Kind of glad I
I've
didn't.
loved listening to the people argue with each other. And fun fact, I did not know how that story was going to end up until I wrote the ending. So I kept going back and forth. I did not
With
know who was going to be.
within the Was that the 13 one that you did in 1 week, or was this
No, the love triangle one took me. It
no?
probably only took me like 2 weeks, but still did not take me that long.
Mm. Yeah, because I kind of remember like it it being updated like pretty frequently. Like I'd finish a
Yeah,
chapter and then like bam, and I was like, oh, so I can still interact, but I was like, no, that's scary. I'm just
I can
gonna.
tell you exactly how long it took me. Let's see. I started posting on the 3rd of April, and it was done by May 13th. No, it took like over a month.
Oh wow, that's
That was only 8 parts. But I think I was also simultaneously writing my WandaVision reimagined story at the same time.
Oh yeah, I remember
So
that. I remember
yeah,
switching
so my
between those two.
my time might have been a little bit more occupied
Mm-hmm.
than
Yeah,
my first.
I remember refreshing and be like, "Is there another thing?" Okay, no, I have to wait. I have to go to bed.
Yeah,
Time to
that
go to
one.
sleep.
That one I think I had traveled once and I stayed up to like 4 in the morning finishing a chapter,
Oh
like on
wow,
vacation. I still wanted to write because I had the writing bug,
the
and now
writing.
the writing bug has been murdered.
I hate when the writing bug like hits me at an inconvenient time.
The writing bug has been like allergic to me for the last couple of years now.
Dang, that's sad because you are a really phenomenal writer.
Blame Marcella.
So on to today's theme, which is the Hunger Games. Yeah. Bow, 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 bow. Well, the new book has
I
been
threw you off.
announced. The new book has been announced, right? It's going to be Haymitch's Games, and they already have the movie contract. That's exciting. And I guess my question for you is, what are your thoughts on the new Hunger Games book?
Movie or book?
Well, the new book being announced.
Like, but do you want my opinions on like the movie or the book?
Well, it's the same thing.
What my opinions are different though.
Okay, start with the book and then move to the movie.
Okay. So, for movie specifically, I mean, no, I'm sorry, you said book, right?
Yeah.
Ah, for book, I'm I'm really excited to
Girl.
see.
Okay, ignores everything.
I have ADHD.
ADHD.
Wait, ADHD, ADHD. I
ADHD.
can't do it. I'm not Renee Rapp. I'm sorry, Renee Rapp. Anyway, for the book, I'm really excited for it because Suzanne Collins, I personally believe, is one of the most like talented writers of our time because of the depth that she goes into detail in this world that doesn't even exist.
Mhm.
The like intricacies, the parallels to honestly our real life. Like
Mhm.
I, I'm just like really like in awe of her as an author. So I will read basically anything she writes.
Mhm.
Uh,
No, yeah.
and I'm very vested in the Hunger Games
I'm
franchise just because.
always seeing everything that she's writing. Like
Yeah,
it's very easy to picture what she's writing.
yeah. The first time I read the Hunger Games, I was still in middle school, high school. I was in one. I was
Mhm.
either early high school, late middle school,
Mhm.
and the movie had come out. But I'm very big on like if it's a book that's turning into a movie, I need to read the book first.
Mhm.
I got the book the night before. I didn't think I would finish it.
Oh wow.
I started at like 6. I didn't go to bed until it was finished.
Wow.
I stayed up. No, I started at like 8 because I think it was I was about to go to bed. I started and I like stayed up and I was like, I need to finish this. It's so good.
For me, I was
And I
only
went
able
to school the next day.
to do that with Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, but that's only because when I was in seventh grade, we, as the semester book that everybody was reading, we read The Hunger Games, and that's when I first read it. And Catching Fire had just come out, and I wasn't like I was kind of annoyed with everything because like I just remember the Twilight hype, and we couldn't afford to go see Twilight every time that there was a new Twilight movie, and then I also just wasn't like as immersed in the Harry Potter stuff, so I was just like, oh great, another thing I'm left out of. And I also had like a lot of issues at the time, so I was just like, but this was like around a time that like my mom was able to buy me things, so as I started to really get into the first book, she bought me the second book and then the third book, and the second book I took time to read because again I was like illiterate at the time,
Oh my God.
so I really couldn't read, but it taught me how to, and then or I couldn't enjoy reading. I'll say that. And then the Mockingjay took me a weekend to read, but I think Catching Fire took me like a month. But I still hadn't finished the first book when I was reading those, so I was like a little thrown off here and there because we were reading it throughout the school year or the semester, second semester. But yeah.
No, like I do.
Hmm?
If I get into a book, I need to read it like in that moment. Hyperfixation, ADHD.
I couldn't read. But no, I really had a struggle. I struggled with reading because I couldn't picture it, and I guess I was focusing on the fact that I couldn't picture things. But with Suzanne Collins, never had that issue. And then Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes came out. I got it. I pre-ordered it. The second I actually got it, it was at night, and I was just not sure if I should start it then. And I was just, but I had it, so I started it, and then I didn't stop reading it until it was done. And I remember my mom had like some company over, and she was like, "Come say hi." I'm like, "Hold on,
I'm busy.
I have 3 chapters left. They can wait."
No,
But
I that one I started, but I was already like working full time. So I
mm,
finished it in a couple days, but like that was me for fixating on. I would read during lunch.
nice.
But the unhingedness of Snow. I don't know why people are thirsting over him.
That one,
I don't get it.
that one, because I at that point that book had been released, I had read so much Hunger Games fan fiction that it felt like a fan fiction, and I was just like, in a sense, it is because it's not. I mean, it's coming from the original writer, but it's still like it wasn't. It didn't come before Hunger Games, but
Well, it's
it's
like the universe, but it's not
yeah,
about like Katniss
and it's
anymore.
canon. Yeah, and it's not Katniss. It's not Peeta. It's about the President Snow, which we didn't have as much detail on because it was all through like Katniss's perspective of what was going on. So it's like it just felt weird reading it at first, and then there was also some plot points that I swore I read in fan fiction before.
That's a sign that you've read too much fan
And that's a
fiction.
sign I read too much fan fiction. No, I read so many Hunger Games fan fiction. I ran out of reading. I had to wait for people to write new stories, and
No, I didn't read that much.
I even tried to write some, but
I actually forgot a fandom that I used to write fan fiction in yesterday
oh,
on
what?
my crazy journey. I did Emily and Allison for a long while.
Emerson? Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah, that
And
was
then
the vibe for a
they
cool minute.
they canonically divorced.
I know they got married, had a child, and then in like the spin-off or something, they got divorced.
Twins. Yeah.
Insert the meme. What's the reason?
What was the
What's the
reason? I
reason?
just explained to you. What was the reason? I just
Why
explained to you the
can't we
reason.
ever be happy?
No, I think I saw a podcast where Sasha Peters was even talking about that made no sense for her at all. That she didn't like that plot, and that she didn't really
Yeah,
like.
because didn't Emily end up with Paige too?
I think so.
Triggered,
I remember
triggered. She
watching
tried it
that
down
season.
here.
It was a pretty good season, but like I also there was so many things I was upset about. Like one, I don't know why we're bringing back Mona. Like, y'all did too much to Mona. Mona, like, I felt so bad for Mona when they, like, killed her off for a
She
little
should have
bit.
stayed in the insane asylum.
Yeah, she needs to just... She's been put through so much as a teenager. Granted,
Honestly,
most of it was her fault.
she was A for like a cool minute, so
She was... Was it 2 seasons that she was A?
she was the first reveal for A.
I know she was the first one, but was she 2 seasons of A, or was she only 1 season?
I think she was 2 seasons because I don't think we got the reveal in the first season at all.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be honest, I might have trauma blocked like all of Pretty Little Liars out of my head, so I may or may not be right.
No, I need to do a whole nother episode on Pretty Little Liars. Side note,
Yeah, and
because
that'll be fun for me to be part of because I'll
there's
be like, I don't remember though.
there's so many things that I'm still like unpacking.
That show should have stopped
It should have been
way
stopped.
sooner than it did.
It really should have been stopped. I really shouldn't have been allowed to watch that show because when did that come out? I was a child, but I just remember that my brother's girlfriend at the time was watching it one time, and I just sat down to watch it with her, and because I thought she was all cool and whatever. And then I found it on Netflix, and I just put it on, and then I asked my mom if I could watch it. It started in 2010. I remember the ads for it, but I didn't watch it until
I think I watched that show from like beginning to end, and like I was dragging myself through the mud to get to that end finish line.
I think I started
I was like, I made it this far. I'm gonna see it through.
Yeah, I think I started watching when like season 2 was on Netflix, and then the
Can we
start
have
of
an
season
episode on
3.
Gossip Girl? Because
Oof.
I recently rewatched that show with Marcella.
I watched it once during quarantine, so I might need you to help me with that. But yeah,
No,
we can do that
let's do an episode on not Pretty Little Liars, on
on
Gossip
Gossip
Girl.
Girl.
I have a lot of opinions on that one.
I didn't like
I
that
have a lot.
show. I will be honest. I didn't get the hype for it, and
I
I
liked it.
painfully binged that whole thing during quarantine.
I'm gonna be honest, I think Gossip Girl also went on too long. Like it should have stopped like 2 seasons before it actually did.
It did go on.
Honestly, just that last season.
It did go on a little bit longer than it should have, and it also was a very disappointing ending and very confusing, and so like
It's like they blindfolded themselves, put all their names on like a dartboard, and they're
and
like,
then just
okay, whoever lands on is Gossip Girl.
Dan.
Oh, it's Dan. Okay. Sorry, Dan. Oh, spoiler
Oh,
alert.
spoiler.
If you have not seen Gossip Girl.
If you haven't seen it, what are you doing? No. But
It's
or
been out
like
for many.
also I wish I was you. But oh, my dog just jumped down. Anyways, what was I saying about it? It was disappointing. Oh no, that reveal opened so many plot holes that didn't exist
Yeah, because
before
like
they revealed that.
they're like, is he schizophrenic? Because there's like scenes where he's like reacting to Gossip Girl.
No, and he's
And they're
like
like, but you wrote it.
he was literally like being attacked, and he was giving all these speeches about it. Like he had to, like, this was a perfect setup if Joe wasn't Joe, he was Dan. For you. It would have been a perfect
I
setup for
know.
like a spin-off for you, that you was the spin-off of Gossip Girl, and Dan just
No, but
like...
he was totally different in Gossip Girl.
No, he was a totally different person. Yes. But
Honestly, for a cool minute, and this might be controversial, but I think Dan was like the most like logically sound character for like a good amount of the show. And then it went on too long, and then it
I think I
crashed
would
and
have
burned.
to rewatch it to understand that point of view. I think I have to rewatch it to understand that take, because I was always with Nate.
No, Nate, yeah, but Nate also was making out with a 14-year-old, so I don't know. Question mark.
And he did date
Nate had a thing with like
with an
people
older
who were,
woman.
yeah, he was either with someone too old or too young.
Yeah,
No in between.
He did have a lot of inappropriate relationships. That's true. But he never sent
Yes.
he never sent anything to Gossip Girl. So
Yeah,
there
I
was
guess
that.
so. Yeah, but he also made his own gossip columns. That's why he didn't
And,
have
and
to.
Dan was literally Gossip Girl.
I don't. That season doesn't exist. I literally watched up until the end, like towards the
And
end, right before Dan and Blair break up.
and then
Everything after that doesn't exist.
another reason why Dan
And
should have been with Blair is that he has no biological connection to Blair, where Dan and Serena share a brother.
Dan's Rance share a brother. Chuck and Blair share abuse. Yep.
Oh, Jesus. Cut it.
They mentally and emotionally abused each other. They were both horrible to
No,
each
they were
other.
so bad. They brought the worst out in each other. The fact that they ended up
I,
together and had a child, that poor child.
it was fan service.
I
At a
know.
certain point, it's fan service.
Fan service for some shows, and like when you see the things shouldn't have ended up the way that they did, that's just how you know how screwed up the fans were.
Yeah, that fandom is still pretty like adamant, like
Yeah,
Chuck and Blair.
I know. There's a lot
Anyway,
of
Hunger Games.
Chuck apologists. Yeah, anyways, cut it. Hunger Games.
Very, very off track.
Hunger
Com
Games is where I tried to start writing fan fiction. I was illiterate, so I couldn't go past more than like a chapter or three. I think three was like my cap, but I always had plans for more, but I couldn't commit.
Nah, I don't think I ever finished a story until I wrote for Wanda. I would
Yeah.
always start like a bunch of stories. I'm telling you,
Yeah, that's how I
if
was
you
with
have
Wanda too.
heard, yeah, if you have heard the previous podcast I was on, the lore, comment down below if you remember the lore of all the fandoms I was in.
Comment down below if you have the what's it called again? The
The map,
spreadsheet of Miranda's
if you draw a map, if you
journey.
draw a map of my journey of fan fiction, I will come back and I will finish every story that I never finished.
Oh my god. Uh,
But
did
if you don't, I will not finish those stories.
Wait, so did you have like many different accounts with like different usernames?
No, I've had my, if you go really deep into my Tumblr, it started as a Emerson like fan fiction account.
Oh my god. But you
And
only have
then,
the Marvel stuff linked on your master
well,
list?
no, yeah, I don't have it linked. Like if you can still find it if you like are willing to scroll
I don't think
to
I don't think I am.
my high school years.
Cause you have cause you have interactions in between. So and then like you have
Yeah,
all these reblogs, so it's not like a straight shot. That is
no, it
actual
would take
a
a long,
commitment.
it would take a very long time.
And because sometimes uh websites like glitch or like apps will glitch and they'll send you straight to the top
Yeah, no, it'll take a minute. I think
and that
I've tried
hurts.
and I never got down to it.
Anyway, sorry for interrupting. Continue.
But yes, that's what my Tumblr account did start at like zero. I had like some followers from my Emerson
Hmm.
like fan fiction, and then I started writing for Wanda, and I got more traction. And now I write for the Women of the Marvel Universe. I
Now,
wrote for the Marvel Universe.
it was like, and now what? When? Now,
Do you
two
want to
years
go
ago.
square up, square up, square up?
I actually deleted all the stuff that was on my Tumblr page because there wasn't much, but it was just like Joshua reblogs from for Hunger Games, Joshua and Everlark reblogs.
No, see,
And they
I don't delete anything.
and then it used to be like the username used to be something about Joshua, and I was just like, ugh, disgusting. If I'm gonna start posting for Wanda, and if I'm gonna get the attention of one of my favorite authors, I have to have it catered.
Who was your favorite author?
Voldemort
Triggered.
at the time.
Triggered.
Triggered. Um,
Triggered. Red flag, red flag. I only see red flags.
it was at the time I didn't know about the red flags. Um, but I was like, oh, I like the way that they interact, and I like the stories, and so I'm gonna. Well, no, I'm not gonna like make. I didn't make the whole account based on that, but I also wanted to be able to get people to actually read my stuff. So I was like, nobody's gonna read Joshua fan. I can't remember what the rest of the thing was. I think there were some numbers in there too, but I was like, we're gonna cut that out. I'm gonna do messed up fan, and that's how that happened.
Honestly, I don't even remember how I came up with my name.
Somewhat great
It just is.
expectations.
Yeah, it just is.
I think about it a lot for
Ye.
some reason.
I
Just the
think I might have been
username.
reading Great Expectations in school.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, That's saying a lot. Who says I have great expectations?
So somewhat great expectations.
I'm on great expectations.
And
Exactly.
then I'll say C'est la vie, basically, just because that's on your like your
Yeah,
profile.
that's been there for since like my Emerson era.
Oh wow. See, so if anybody is committed enough, I will pay you
To
I'll pay you
go,
$100 to prove that you did
go
that.
into my Tumblr.
Yeah. To if they like DM me a link to your Emerson fic because of how much work that is, I'll pay them $100.
I'm pretty sure I tagged it. Look, I'm pretty sure I can like find it.
I'm not paying
Pay me
you
$100.
$100 to go through.
I found it. Pay me $100.
I'm not sending you $100.
Pay me $100,
I'll
or
pay
I'll see
you
you in
when
court.
this starts getting monetized.
I'll see you in court.
No. Cut it.
Have fun here.
Anyways,
Have
so
fun
Hunger
here.
Games. what are so speaking of the fact that like oh yeah, did you go into the movie thing about it?
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah, we were stuck on book.
So my opinion on the movie might be a little controversial, but I don't think that we need to cast a young Woody Harrelson lookalike. I think that now we can be true to Haymitch in the book, where he's a darker complexion with curly brown hair. Facts.
Oh, okay.
That's my main opinion. That's my main opinion. Is that
I don't
I don't think we need
disagree.
Woody Harrelson.
As like somebody that does get a little like whatever about the details when it comes to movies and like franchises like that where they, like where movies have a past and a present, it would bug me a little bit. Be like, "Oh, he turned white?" Like if I didn't know about the book, and it's just like a moviegoer, or like just a movie watcher, and in the future where I like if I hadn't seen any of this stuff, and then the movie comes out, and I'm watching the new the Haymitch book, the Haymitch movie one, and then I'm like, oh, this I love this character, right? And then I go back to watch the other ones, and then be so confused that he's white. Like, wait, where's
Yeah.
Haymitch? Like, and then I also don't like the stupid, the fan cast of JoJo Siwa being Haymitch.
Oh my God, please. No.
I need that to stop. But,
That is my like sleep paralysis demon.
oh no. Have you
Please
actually had
no.
sleep paralysis?
I've had it once in my
Once?
life, yeah. And it was
Mm.
not a fun experience. So
No,
respect to you if you experience it regularly.
I
My
used to.
apologies.
I used to experience it. My senior year of high school was the worst time I would have it. Since then, I've had about, I want to say, 6 experiences of it since the year 2020. I've had about 6 experiences. But
One
haven't had one this year.
would not recommend.
So
Would not recommend.
I did have one last
Would
year.
not. Oh, I'm so sorry for you.
Yeah, no, it sucks. But
Yeah.
anyways, I would like to see if she keeps the same description from the books
I mean,
because of the
I
switch up
think,
for the movie.
well, canonically, it wouldn't make sense
It would have made sense
in
for the book.
the book
Yeah.
universe. If, like, suddenly he's a white man with blonde hair and blue eyes, straight blonde hair, blue eyes,
No,
because
that's
that's not how
true.
he was described in the book. Because then you're going to read the books and go
And
back
then
and be
be
like,
like,
wait, why is
wait,
he a
he
white
turned
man
white.
now? What happened to his skin color?
The capital in the books, when he won the games, he had his skin colored because that was a thing in the books where you can have your entire skin and body like altered.
Yeah, but they would do like crazy colors though, wouldn't they? Like
Yeah,
they'd be like pink and purple and blue.
yeah, but that's what he chose.
He chose white. He said,
No,
I want to
no,
be a
he
white
was
man now.
white and then he chose to darken his skin.
Oh, no, but oh yeah, because I guess because he's a mentor in the later books
Yeah,
and
in the
he's
later books, he's a mentor and
a teenager
he's
in the
in yeah, and
in his quote
will
unquote
be the
quo.
teenager in the new book.
Oh my God. I mean,
We
I
fixed
don't
it.
think anyone would pick that.
And then for the movie, people they can explain that people do this in the movie and then voila, we fixed it.
Listen, no.
No. Cuz then he can be the correct complexion in the movie where he's darker tone. And then the explanation of how they how in the Capitol you can have your color changed, your skin color changed. They explain that in the movie, and then voila, it's fixed. Voila, he ends up being Woody Harrelson. uh, no, that's terrible. It's very controversial.
Please no.
But no, I get it. I get what you're saying. I don't know if
Yeah.
they will do it though.
I want to see book accurate Haymitch.
They did give us a book accurate Lucy,
Yeah,
so they might give
but
us a book.
someone was arguing it's because she has no like predecessor. Like there was no this is what
Oh
Lucy
yeah,
looks
that's
like.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
There was only what Lucy looked like in this movie.
Yeah, because that's the only person that will play Lucy.
Yeah, and she may or may not be dead. So,
I always took
have
it
you
if she
seen the
died.
theory that
Because
she's
even if she is, wait, what?
I said, have you seen the theory that she's a coin?
Yeah, I've seen that theory a long time ago when the book came out.
I was like, I don't think that one makes sense.
It really, I mean, talk about the skin changing.
She became a white woman.
She became a white woman. Um, and the eye
Trigger
color
warning.
changed because she's supposed to have like these like crazy silver eyes.
Oh yeah, Coin has silver eyes.
Mm-hmm. Hair
And
color
Lucy
can
was the first.
change. The hair color is fine. I accept
Yeah,
that
but
change.
Lucy existed before the Capitol was like doing all those alterations to
Mm-hmm.
like their bodies.
Yeah, because it wasn't like a popular thing because literally nobody had the money to do anything. They barely
Yeah,
had the money to
exactly.
eat.
They were eating people in the streets.
Literally. I feel like
Very
that was a
literally.
little too glazed over in the movie.
I don't think like if you didn't read the book, you didn't understand what was happening.
No, yeah. But it's still like it just was like it just seems like it was a thing that happened only at a certain point in time. When
Yeah, because it was kind of just
like it was just
and
those
then
people that did that.
the fact it played a bigger deal in the book where like he repeatedly says like he can't look at this girl the same way because
He's seen her eat
every time he sees her,
flesh,
he remembers that she has eaten a
human
human
flesh.
being.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
That's
don't
true.
know. I feel like
Yeah.
books are always better.
No, yeah,
Books are
the
always better.
books have so much detail that I'm kind of annoyed that they keep going the movie route when they should do
TV series.
series.
Honestly, I feel like they not with the Battle of Songbirds and Snakes, it's one book, but the Hunger Games
Yeah,
like could have been
The Hunger Games could have been a well. I mean, at the time, what was popular was movies.
because it was like off the tail end of like the Harry Potter success.
Yeah, and the Twilight as well. And
Twilight.
then
Harry-
and then Divergent was like the tail end of Hunger Games.
Okay, well, Divergent failed to succeed. The Divergent movies were awful.
I never
I don't
watched.
know if that's controversial.
I never
I
watched.
read
I
all the
never
books.
read.
Books were decent. Movies were awful. Like horrible, horrible adaptations.
Yeah, I'm gonna take your
Shailene
word for that
Woodley.
because I never watched. I never read.
Yeah, no.
Question 3. What are some of the things from the books that you feel should have been in the movies? Which I feel like we were already kind of weaving into, but yeah.
Well, like appearance wise, that's the big one. Personally, I think. I don't know. It's something the stuff that I feel like should be in the movies is like stuff that's like not possible to be in the movies, like the internal dialogue and like their like motivations. It's like all internal, their struggles. You can't really portray that in the movie.
Yeah.
Like Snow was absolutely unhinged, crazy, psycho in his head
No, I
in the
know.
book. But you can't see that in the movie because you're not listening to his internal like spiraling dialogue
Yeah.
where he's like just like, making himself like eviler and eviler as
Yeah,
the
and a
story
lot of
goes on.
people thought that like I mean, a lot of people were distracted by because people thought he was attractive. Hot take, I didn't,
I
but
think he's
a lot
more
of people
attractive with
were
dark hair.
yeah. But I didn't really think he was like all that. I was like, he's not all that. I don't know why y'all are going
He's not
crazy.
Tom Holland.
Exactly.
He's not Tom Holland. That's my boy.
Exactly. But for me, I feel like a lot of characters shouldn't have been left out.
Yeah, characters too.
Like Madge, like I'm gonna be really mad because her aunt is gonna be mentioned in the movie because there's just no other way. She's literally a tribute and she's part of Haymitch's journey.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be really upset because, you know, people who don't know the books at this point and only know the movies, they're gonna have no clue about the significance of Madge's aunt, for the
Yeah.
even just for the pin.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's the one that gave Katniss the pin originally
Yeah, and now it's
in the
just kind
book.
of some garbage that was found.
And wasn't it the aunt's pin?
Yeah, it was the aunt's pin.
So like yeah, there's no they can't like tie in that significance anymore.
No, they're just
Too
gonna
late,
have
it's done.
to if it's like if we get like a after the games with Haymitch, they'll probably show the pin just being lost because that's how Katniss finds it in the movies. She's at the Hob and she's just
Yeah.
kind of rifling through junk and she just finds it and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna give this to my sister,"
And then she ends up keeping it.
and then she ends up giving she gets the present
Yeah.
rejected, and then she just never gives it back.
Or like the scene in the Hunger Games when she gets bit by the tracker jacker and you see Cesar Flickerman like appear and
Oh
I
my
saw a meme once where it's like, and for those of you who didn't read the book, this is what tracker venom does to you.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
It
Uh
feels like the most like force when they're trying to like force something in that
yeah.
like you would only get from context from reading instead of like visually.
Yeah. No, as somebody who
It was
has
awkward sometimes.
recently tried to convert a story into a script, it is ridiculously hard to figure out how you want to portray something that is I don't want to say like an internal dialogue, but it was something that like it's like a descriptor that helps, the reader move along in the story, whereas in you don't always have control over that in the script. I mean, you do have some control, but when it comes to films, there's so many more opinions that get added into making that get in from the script to the new script to the other script to like the 10th script, because you have the producer, you have the director. If you get another producer, you have more producers. If you get a production company, you're really screwed. Uh, that that just opens up a whole lot more people that have way more power than you do. So you can't really keep everything. And then you also have set designers, you have the props department, you have the actors. They change it up a bit too with like the way you kind of perceive these characters being. If you can't always get the actors you want, so you have to settle
Yeah.
for actors that are good enough for it, but they might change the character completely from what you wanted the character to be, just in
Uh,
tone and delivery.
and honestly, I would like prefer to see actors that I don't know, because then I don't have those preconceived notions of like, oh yeah, I'm used to this guy being like a frat boy,
Yeah,
and I would rather like them be like unknowns, because then like what I see them as is like their characters.
I'm gonna look up his name so I don't get hated on, because I can't remember his name
For
right now.
controversial,
But
I
the
think
guy from
aside from
Bottoms,
him, oh sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say like the guy from Bottoms,
Nicholas
Nicholas
Galvatine.
yeah, like everything I've seen him in, it's always been a different character, so I can't even
Oh yeah.
categorize him in my mind.
What I was gonna say was controversial. I think aside from Haymitch's game, I would have rather seen the first quarter quell. I think that one would have been a little bit more interesting.
I think I don't disagree with you. I think I would have rather the first quarter quell first before the second, but
Yeah.
she's like kind of going, third, second, first.
The first one
What I would
though
have,
was like the voting.
but what I would have
They had a
liked
vote to tribute.
is that instead of focusing on the 10th Hunger Games for President Snow, it was the first quarter quell.
Yeah.
That would have
But I
worked
mean, I
better.
guess it gave us like an in-depth like view into like why he hated Katniss even more than like we thought he did.
That and how it survived past, because that's what the conflict there was. They couldn't keep engagement. Like they didn't have like nobody cared about the Hunger Games at by the 10th one. So I guess yeah, by like
Yeah.
the 25th, but it would make sense to make it
And how he was the one that like revolutionized the Hunger Games
yeah, and that
and
his
made it what it was.
father also had a whole lot into it as well.
Side note, I would just like to see Ayo Adibri in it because I love her. I want to see her in everything.
I'm trying to think of what
She's from
character she
Buzz.
could be.
I don't know. Should make a role for her.
Make a rover. Well, there's gonna be
Make a
so
role
many
for her.
characters that we don't know about. Um, she definitely can't be Maid Madge's aunt.
I don't know. I just love her. I want to see her in everything.
But
I think she's so funny
I don't know
and
if I want her
talented.
to be a tribute because I don't know if I want to watch her die. But I also don't know if
I do not want to watch her
she,
die.
huh?
I do not want to watch her die.
Yeah. And if she was a tribute, she would have to die because Hamish is the one who lives, unless she's the Hamish.
Make her Hamish. Make her play Hamish.
Like, get Jojo
Cast her as
Siwa out of
Hamish.
here. Let's
Cast
head
her as
there.
Hamish.
I was so
Hamish.
sad because one of the things I volunteered for South by was one of her movies, but she was filming The Bear, so I didn't get to see her in
Oh,
person. I did get
okay. You
to,
saw Elizabeth Olsen.
huh?
You saw Elizabeth Olsen though,
I did see Elizabeth Olsen, and I did make eye
and that's your
contact, and
number
she almost
one.
hit me in the face with a water bottle, and I never.
And I told you you should have let her hit you in the face because then that would have led
Everybody
to a
says that.
conversation.
Everybody says that. I will
Then you would have
never
been like, "Oh my
forgive.
gosh, I'm so sorry,"
I will never
and then
forgive
you
my
would have been like, "Oh no,
reflexes.
it's okay." But the only way I could forgive you is if you kiss me on the mouth right now.
Oh my god. I will never forgive my reflexes for stealing that moment from me. I wouldn't kiss
Yeah,
her,
you should.
but I would have had a conversation of like, "Oh my god." And she's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." And I'm like, "I know it was my fault. I was standing in the way of your hand."
You would have been like, "I'm sorry. I would like to be hit again by you, honestly."
Oh my god. I'm
Like
actually
you could
not one
run
of
me
those
over with the
fans.
car.
Another thing I feel like should have been in the movies. I've gone on whole rants. You know what should have been in the movies?
What?
Joanna and Katniss's friendship and their
Oh
roommate,
yeah, yeah,
the whole roommate situation. That should
yeah.
have been touched on a
Joanna,
lot more.
also controversial. I really, 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 really thought Naya Rivera would have been the perfect cast for Joanna. And
Oh, that would have been, that really would have worked out.
I was rooting for that one.
Ugh.
I was really disappointed when I saw the casting for Joanna.
Hmm.
It would have been good.
No, that would have been really good. I didn't even think that was like a thing but that would have been really, really good. She would have been so awesome.
She was the fan cast for a long time.
Oh, was she?
Hmm.
Again, around the time I wasn't involved in the internet.
And as we know, if you have been around and heard the first show episode I was on,
You were
we know I've been
chronically
on the
involved.
internet too long. I've been on the internet too long.
Yeah, I didn't start getting in the internet until I got my first smartphone when I was 13.
I've been on for as
And
long as I
and
remember.
even I feel like that was too long. Well, before I didn't really know what like you could do on the internet. I didn't know about social media platforms other than Facebook, and I could barely use that because it was, and I only used it I think for to log on to some certain games like Sims Free Play or something like that. But yeah, no, it was very. I had a very weird experience, but I also still felt like I was still too young to be on the internet. And then knowing you were born literally on the internet,
I was out of the womb on Google.
Google, but no, yeah, I still felt like 13 was too young for internet interaction. I can see why you definitely aren't, like, if you have kids, you're not gonna let them have an
Yeah,
iPad.
I was like 8.
Jesus. Hi, Macas.
See, I'll blame that. That's why I didn't end up a doctor.
Oh no.
I could have been a doctor if I didn't end up online at 8 years old.
Oh no, you're gonna give the helicopter parents another reason.
The secret formula is to prevent your child from getting into fan fiction.
Oh man. We're moving on to the game. Da 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 da. Movie or fan fiction. It has been updated.
Thanks to Miranda.
The title game. Oh no, it's not the title game anymore. It's now movie or fan fiction, but description.
Because Noelle doesn't like to see me win.
No, I don't like to see anyone win.
Suing, suing,
Suing,
suing.
suing. All right, so first description. This fanfic or movie weaves multiple stories to create a witty look at love, family, and the sheer unpredictability of life itself. I do want to say that I
Movie.
did have to edit this one.
Movie.
Yeah, it's a movie. How dare you?
What movie was it?
The movie is called Happy Endings, and it's from 2005. I didn't really look at the cast, but I did see like an image of Maggie Gyllenhaal on it, and so I was like, ugh, controversial.
Controversial.
Uh,
Where's the scar?
Unfortunately, the
Where's the
Taylor Swift episode, I'm going to talk to you about this later. Uh, it has been extended to somebody else. but, I was going to say, if we can get the schedules to align, I think it would be cool to have two people as a guest.
Who was it?
Anyways.
Boo. I've been a Swiftie for over a decade. I've been a Swiftie since debut.
Listen.
I'll fight in the comments.
If we can arrange a good schedule, a good time to talk about it, or maybe I just have to do 2 Taylor Swift episodes because Taylor Swift is a big topic.
I am the co-host now.
Who knows Taylor Swift better?
I am the co-host.
Are you accepting that role?
Yes, I accept the co-host so I can get the Taylor Swift episode.
And then the second you're on the episode, you're like, all right, I'm out. You're out.
That's the main reason.
So like somebody else kind of has to be the co-host. Thanks for the offer though. All right. So number 2. This fanfic or movie summary is some things are better left undone. Some things aren't meant to be said. Unfortunately, they couldn't leave well enough alone.
Fanfiction.
So the fanfiction is called The Space Between. It's a Delina fanfiction, not Damon and Elena. It's Selena and Demi Lovato. And it's by A Violent Emotion. Their stories are really, really good. One of them literally made me ugly cry, and I have not had that experience with any fic since. And that was in
I don't think I've ever cried for a fanfiction.
It was in 2020. I've never cried for a fanfiction before or after. It was pretty crazy. It was a really long story too. They haven't been active since 2014, but if anybody wants to check them out, definitely check them out. Because the stories that they do have up there are all complete.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah, and
a lot of people just look at their fan fictions and never finish them.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that. With like, same. I had a current fic that I don't want to write anymore, but I only started writing it for somebody, so I was like, I can't even separate this. I can't dissociate the fact that I started the story for the trigger. But they are on Wattpad, and I think fanfiction.net. I don't think that they're on. I don't know if they have an AO3 or not, but anyways. Next description.
For Voldemort?
No, for A Violent Emotion.
Oh, okay. Ready.
Not everything is about Voldemort, okay?
Ready.
Anyways, no, I am Brooke Schofield. And Voldemort is Clinton K.
Trigger warning.
Trigger warning. This next description: an ambitious photographer who doesn't like commitment must choose between a striking DJ and a successful businessman in this fanfic or movie.
I'm gonna say fanfiction.
You would be wrong.
Dang it.
It's a movie called Bending All the Rules. It's from 2002, and it has Bradley Cooper in it.
Is he the businessman or the DJ?
I did not watch it enough to figure it out.
Like, he doesn't give either vibe.
I feel like he could be the DJ as, like, messy and life is way more fun than anything else. I don't know. He could be the businessman, though. I don't know. I'm still traumatized by the when he was in He's Just Not That Into You.
I blocked out that movie. It was so bad.
I love that movie, but I hate the scene where where Scarlett Johansson's hiding in the closet of his office and he's literally having sex with his wife.
And she's a homewrecker.
And she's a homewrecker. It's bad on so many fronts. But I love that movie. I love watching it. I don't know why. This next description. In this fanfic or movie, a bickering gay couple's self-indulgent lifestyle is turned upside down when the 10-year-old grandson they never knew existed crashes their party.
Ooh, that one's tough. 10-year-old son crashes a party.
Grandson.
Grandson. Ooh, I'm gonna say movie because I can't picture any of your fan fictions being in that in grandson territory.
You did it. It's a movie.
What movie is that?
It's called Ideal Home. Came out 2018. The cast that I could recognize was Paul Rudd and Kate Walsh. So, because I was on Tubi when I was looking for movie descriptions, and apparently, if you're on a title for too long, it will just play the movie for you. Cause like, stop trying to figure out if you want to watch it. Just watch it. So it seemed interesting enough. The bending. Oh no, not bending. The Ideal Home.
I'll have to check it out.
I was like, I wasn't even. But yeah, Paul Rudd is one of the gay ones. So I was like, oh, interesting. Um, for this one, this fanfic or movie starts with an accusation, and she misses her chance to correct it. In high school, where rumors abound and opinions are formed quickly, Redacted finds herself branded as something she's not.
Fanfic.
Yeah, you get it.
Yay.
This one is something I did read, and it's Hunger Games.
A high school Hunger Games?
A high school Hunger Games. It's Katniss. It's called Easy K, and it's based off of Easy A.
Well,
And the person that wrote it, their username, I don't know if it still is, but it was once Sponsor Musings. So, and it was from AO3 because I had it downloaded. I just went through my downloaded from the AO3s for this one. Well, for the fics. That wasn't the first one, the Wattpad one. Anyways, and then this last one in this fanfic or movie, Redacted and Redacted are not friends. In fact, they absolutely despise each other, or so she thought.
fanfic.
You
You
got,
can kind of start guessing what's gonna be like which one fits more like a tropey style.
I know. I was really like trying to trip up with some of these. Some fanfiction descriptions can work, and some movie descriptions aren't as bad as a fanfiction description. So it's just
You got me once.
I got you once, unfortunately. This one was also a Hunger Games fanfiction. It was Katniss Everdeen and Peter Malark are not friends. And it's called A Thin Line. And then I had to really think about what this one was for their username. I, as I was writing it out, I figured out that it's A Tethered Mind. But I'm so
Heather.
lost in the lost in the internet that I at first thought it was 8 their mind.
Oh my God. That's traumatizing.
And I also found this on AO3 but years ago, so I don't know if it's still up, but
Give it a look if it is.
we'll find out. Comment
Free
down
from
below if you find it. There's so many fan fictions out there.
yeah.
Well, you
And
won the game again.
bow.
Will be my
Well,
life's greatest challenge to make you lose.
haters gonna hate.
No, I'm not hating. It's just I want to be smarter than this. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed your return to this podcast.
I'm taking co-host title.
You're taking co-host title until the Taylor Swift episode happens.
Exactly.
Thank you for joining again.
I will be back. I'm now the co-host.
Okay. Thank you
For
for becoming the co-host. Uh,
All right. Thank you guys
all
for
right.
coming.
Thank you
Thank you for
guys
listening.
for.
We'll have you next time because I am now the co-host. Leave a comment down below if you want to see more Augie and Marley. Thank you.
And links in the description will have the other places you can find us, the Tumblrs and Wattpads and AO3s and whatnot. Oh, we have an Instagram and we are on Spotify. Hopefully, I will be able to figure out how to put me on more things by the time I upload this episode. So, yeah, follow, subscribe, comment, like, share, all the things. And goodbye.